But the mermaid trapped in the magic mirror hadn't given up. In Mama Ease's house, it plotted and schemed, looking for a way to escape and take revenge on Amara and Adanna. One stormy night, as lightning flashed and thunder boomed, the mermaid saw its chance. A bolt of lightning struck near Mama Ease's house, causing her to drop the magic mirror in surprise. The mirror rolled across the floor and cracked slightly. The mermaid pushed against the crack, using all its magical strength. Slowly, a trickle of water began to seep out of the mirror. The mermaid concentrated hard, turning its body into water to squeeze through the tiny opening. By morning, the magic mirror lay empty on Mama Ease's floor. The mermaid had escaped. Meanwhile, Amara was getting ready to open the salon for the day. As she unlocked the door, she felt a strange chill in the air. She looked around, but everything seemed normal. Shrugging off the feeling, she went inside to prepare for her first customer. What Amara didn't know was that the mermaid was watching her from the drain in the salon's wash basin. It had followed the water pipes all the way from Mama Ease's house, determined to reclaim its power over Amara. As the first customer arrived, a bride-to-be named Halima, excited to have her hair done for her wedding, the mermaid waited patiently. It knew it had to be careful. If it revealed itself too soon, Amara might find a way to trap it again. Amara began working on Halima's hair, asking her about her fiancé and their plans for the future. Halima chatted happily, describing her dreams of a beautiful wedding and a happy life together. As Amara reached for a cup of water to dampen Halima's hair, the mermaid saw its chance. It swirled up with the water, invisible to the human eye, and clung to Amara's fingers. Suddenly, Amara felt a tingling sensation in her hands. Her fingers began to move faster, weaving Halima's hair with incredible speed. Amara's eyes widened in fear as she realized what was happening. "No," she whispered. "It can't be." But it was. The mermaid's magic was once again flowing through her, making her work at superhuman speed. Halima, noticing the change, gasped in amazement. "Wow, Amara!" she exclaimed. "You're so fast! This is incredible!" Amara tried to slow down, to stop her hands, but she couldn't. The mermaid's power was too strong. In just 15 minutes, Halima's elaborate bridal hairstyle was complete. Halima was thrilled, but Amara felt sick with worry. As soon as Halima left, Amara flipped the sign on the door to closed and sank into a chair, her head in her hands. "What am I going to do?" she murmured. "It's happening all over again." Just then, the door opened. It was Adanna, coming to bring Amara some lunch. As soon as she saw her friend's face, Adanna knew something was wrong. "Amara, what happened?" she asked, rushing to her side. Through tears, Amara explained about the return of her supernatural speed. "The mermaid must have escaped," she said. "What if it tries to take control of me again? What if I have to go back to living in fear?" Adanna hugged her friend tightly. "We won't let that happen," she said firmly. "We beat the mermaid once and we can do it again. But first, we need to find out how it escaped." The two friends hurried to Mama Ease's house. When they arrived, they found the old woman examining the cracked mirror with a worried expression. "I was afraid of this," Mama Ease said when they told her what had happened. "The mermaid has grown stronger. It won't be so easy to trap it again." "But there must be a way," Adanna insisted. "We can't let it control Amara's life again." Mama Ease thought for a moment, then nodded slowly. "There might be a way," she said, "but it will be dangerous, and Amara will have to be very brave." Amara squared her shoulders. "I'll do whatever it takes," she said. "I won't live in fear again." Mama Ease explained her plan. "The mermaid's power comes from the sea," she said. "If we can lure it back to the ocean and keep it there until the sun rises, it will lose its ability to stay on land. But someone will have to act as bait, someone the mermaid wants badly enough to follow into the sea." Amara and Adanna looked at each other. They knew it had to be Amara. That night, as the moon rose over the city, Amara stood alone on the beach. The waves lapped at her feet as she called out to the mermaid. "I know you're here," she shouted. "You want me? Come and get me." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the water before Amara began to bubble and churn. The mermaid rose from the waves, its eyes glowing with an eerie light. "Foolish girl," it hissed. "Did you think you could escape me so easily? Your power belongs to me." Amara took a deep breath and dove into the waves. The mermaid, grinning wickedly, followed her. Under the water, Amara swam as hard as she could, going deeper and deeper. The mermaid was right behind her, its powerful tail propelling it through the water with ease. Amara's lungs began to burn. She needed air, but she couldn't surface yet. She had to keep the mermaid away from the shore until sunrise. Just when Amara thought she couldn't hold her breath any longer, she felt strong arms wrap around her waist. It was Adanna. She had followed Amara into the sea, ready to help her friend in her time of need. Together, Amara and Adanna swam, taking turns going to the surface for air while the other distracted the mermaid. The creature was furious, lashing out with its tail and trying to grab the women with its webbed hands. Hours passed. Amara and Adanna were exhausted, but they didn't give up. They could see the sky beginning to lighten in the east. Dawn was coming. The mermaid, sensing its time was running out, made one last desperate lunge for Amara, its cold fingers wrapped around her ankle, pulling her down into the depths. Adanna dove after her friend, her heart pounding. She couldn't let the mermaid win, not after everything they had been through. Just as Adanna reached Amara, the first rays of the sun broke over the horizon. The sea around them began to glow with a golden light. The mermaid screamed, a sound that echoed through the water. Its grip on Amara loosened as its body began to dissolve into sea foam. "No!" it wailed. "This can't be happening!" But it was. As the sun rose higher, the mermaid faded away, becoming one with the sea once more. Its power over Amara was broken. Amara and Adanna swam to the surface, gasping for air. As they floated in the gentle waves, watching the beautiful sunrise, they began to laugh with joy and relief. "We did it," Amara said, hugging her friend tightly. "We're really free this time." As they swam back to shore, they saw Mama Asa waiting for them on the beach. The old woman was smiling, her eyes twinkling with pride. "Well done, my brave girls," she said. "You have faced your fears and come out stronger. The mermaid will never trouble you again." In the days that followed, life slowly returned to normal. Amara reopened her salon, working at her natural pace and continuing to weave stories and kindness into every hairstyle she created. Word of Amara and Adanna's bravery spread through the city. People came from far and wide to have their hair done by the woman who had twice defeated a mermaid's curse. But for Amara, the greatest reward was the peace she felt. No more fear, no more secrets. She was free to be herself, to use her natural talents to make people feel beautiful and heard. One evening, as Amara was closing up the salon, she found a small, iridescent scale on the floor. For a moment, her heart raced. Then she smiled, picked up the scale, and tossed it into the trash. "Nice try," she said to the empty salon. "But your story is over. It's time for new tales to be told." And with that, Amara turned off the lights and stepped out into the warm night air, ready to write the next chapter of her own story, one braid at a time. After Amara had beaten the water spirit and was finally free, she and Adanna thought the danger was over. They were happy running the hair salon together, helping people feel good about themselves. But one day, as Amara was sweeping the floor after closing up, she heard a strange noise coming from the back room. When she went to check, she saw a shimmery shape in the water of the sink. It was the water spirit. The spirit saw Amara and let out an angry hiss. "You think you've beaten me," it said in a cold voice. "I will have my revenge." Suddenly, the spirit shot out of the sink and flew at Amara. But just before it reached her, Adanna came running in and pushed Amara out of the way. The spirit grabbed Adanna instead, and she screamed as it sank into her body. Amara watched in horror as Adanna's eyes went blank. The spirit had taken control of her. "No!" Amara cried. "Let her go!" But the spirit just laughed. "She is mine now," it said. "And if you want to save her, you'll have to give up your freedom." Amara's heart sank. She had worked so hard to break free of the spirit's power. Now it was asking her to choose, her own freedom or her best friend's life. It was a hard choice. Amara knew that if she gave in to the spirit, she would have to live in fear, and hide her true self again. But she couldn't bear the thought of losing Adanna. Slowly, Amara nodded. "Okay," she said. "I'll do it. Just don't hurt her." The spirit grinned wickedly. "Excellent," it said. "Then let's get to work." From that day on, the salon was never the same. Amara had to hide her true self again, pretending to be the fast-braiding hairdresser she had been before. The spirit made her do its bidding, using her skills to draw in more and more customers. Meanwhile, Adanna was trapped inside her own body, helplessly watching as the spirit made her do terrible things. She tried to fight back, but the spirit's hold on her was too strong. Amara hated seeing her friend this way, but she knew she couldn't risk the spirit hurting Adanna. She had to play along, no matter how much it pained her. One day, a little girl named Chinwe came into the salon. She had heard all about Amara's amazing braiding and couldn't wait to get her hair done. But as soon as Amara started working, the girl could tell something was wrong. "Are you okay, Miss Amara?" Chinwe asked. "You don't seem like yourself." Amara tried to smile, but her heart was heavy. "I'm fine, dear," she lied. "Just a little tired, that's all." Chinwe didn't believe her. She could see the sadness in Amara's eyes. But before she could say anything else, Adanna suddenly grabbed Amara's arm. "Hurry up and finish her hair," Adanna snapped, her voice not her own. "We have more customers waiting." Chinwe was scared. She could tell that Adanna was being controlled by something evil. As Amara quickly braided her hair, the little girl prayed that somehow, someway, Amara and Adanna would find a way to break free. Chinwe left the salon feeling uneasy, her beautiful new braids not enough to lift her worried heart. She knew something terrible was happening to Amara and Adanna, but she didn't know how to help. That night, Chinwe told her parents everything she had seen and felt at the salon. Her father, a wise old man, listened carefully. "It sounds like a dark spirit has taken hold of your friend Adanna," he said gravely. "And it's using Adanna to control your friend Amara as well." Chinwe's eyes went wide. "What can we do?" she asked. "We have to save them." Her father stroked his chin thoughtfully. "There may be a way," he said, "but it will be very dangerous. Are you willing to take the risk?" Chinwe didn't even have to think about it. "Yes," she exclaimed. "I have to try. Amara and Adanna are my friends, and I won't let that mean old spirit hurt them anymore." The next day, Chinwe went back to the salon. She could see the strain on Amara's face as she quickly braided one customer's hair after another. Adanna stood nearby, her eyes blank and lifeless. When there was a lull, Chinwe approached Amara. "Miss Amara," she said quietly, "I know about the spirit. My father thinks he can help you and Adanna, but you have to trust me." Amara's eyes widened in surprise and fear. "How do you know?" she whispered. "It's too dangerous, Chinwe. You mustn't get involved." But Chinwe was determined. "Please, Miss Amara," she begged. "Let me try. I want to save you and Adanna." Seeing the sincerity in the young girl's eyes, Amara finally relented. "All right," she said with a heavy sigh. "What does your father suggest we do?" Chinwe explained her father's plan. "He says we need to lure the spirit into a special trap," she said. "But it won't be easy. The spirit is very powerful and it will fight back hard." Amara nodded grimly. "I know," she said, "but I'm tired of living in fear. If there's a chance to free Adanna and myself, I have to take it." That night, after the salon closed, Chinwe and Amara waited nervously. Chinwe had placed the special trap her father had made in the back room, and now they could only hope the spirit would take the bait. Sure enough, before long, the shimmering form of the water spirit appeared, Adanna's body trailing behind it. "So you think you can outsmart me?" the spirit hissed. Amara took a deep breath. "Let Adanna go," she demanded. "This is between you and me." The spirit laughed cruelly. "Foolish girl," it said. "Adanna is mine now. If you want to save her, you'll have to come with me." Suddenly, the spirit lunged forward, reaching for Amara. But just as it touched her, Chinwe triggered the trap. A powerful magical barrier sprang up, trapping the spirit inside. It howled in rage, thrashing against the invisible walls. "No!" it screamed. "This can't be happening!" Adanna's body crumpled to the floor, the spirit's hold finally broken. Amara rushed to her friend's side, cradling her in her arms. "Adanna! Adanna, wake up!" she cried. Slowly, Adanna's eyes fluttered open. "Amara," she whispered, her voice weak. "What happened?" Amara felt tears of joy and relief streaming down her face. "It's over," she said, hugging Adanna tightly. "You're free. We both are." Chinwe watched the emotional reunion, a proud smile on her face. The spirit raged and roared, but its prison held firm. Amara and Adanna were safe at last. In the days that followed, Amara and Adanna worked to rebuild their lives and their salon. Chinwe's father had helped them create a new, stronger magical barrier to keep the spirit contained. They knew it would always be a threat, but they were determined to never let it control them again. Gradually, the salon regained its reputation as a place of warmth, kindness, and beautiful hairstyles. Amara's natural talent shone through, and her customers once again marveled at her skill. But this time, there were no secrets, no hidden powers, just Amara's own two hands and her gift for making people feel special. Adanna, too, slowly healed from the trauma of being possessed by the spirit. With Amara's unwavering support, she rebuilt her confidence and her zest for life. The two friends were closer than ever, their bond forged through the fire of their shared ordeal. And as for Chinwe, she became a regular visitor to the salon, often bringing treats or just sitting and chatting with Amara and Adanna. They considered her a part of their family now, the brave little girl who had helped them reclaim their freedom. Sometimes, late at night when the salon was dark and quiet, Amara would stand at the sink looking at the water. She could almost feel the spirit's presence, its rage and frustration at being trapped. But Amara no longer feared it. "You have no power over me," she would whisper. "This is my life, and I'm going to live it on my own terms." With that, she would turn off the lights and head home, secure in the knowledge that she and her friends were safe. The water spirit's story had come to an end, and now it was time to write a new chapter, one filled with joy, friendship, and the freedom to be exactly who she was meant to be.